While popular cinema often introduces us to beloved and iconic characters that resonate with audiences, there also exist those characters that have managed to earn the title of most hated movie characters of all time. These characters are etched in the collective memory of viewers for their actions, personalities, or the emotions they evoke. Their ability to elicit such intense emotions demonstrates the power of cinema to create characters that stay with us long after the credits roll. Now, let us show you some of the most hated characters from the silver screen. But before we begin, please remember to press the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and show your support by liking and sharing the video. And with that said, let's start. Ryan Reynolds as Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. Ryan Reynolds' portrayal of Hal Jordan in the 2011 film Green Lantern is largely criticized by both comic book enthusiasts and moviegoers. His comedic style and timing didn't align well with the more earnestly depicted test pilot character. The movie's commercial failure is undeniable, and Reynolds, who has since achieved his comic book acclaim with his role as Deadpool, frequently pokes fun at his own performance through social media posts. Ben Affleck as Holden McNeil. A significant portion of viewers find it difficult to appreciate Ben Affleck's portrayal of Holden McNeil, a whiny and excessively judgmental comic book artist in Kevin Smith's revered 1997 film Chasing Amy. Interestingly, Smith can derive a certain satisfaction from this sentiment, given his recurring notion that McNeil's perspective throughout the movie is flawed. Paradoxically, Smith himself has acknowledged that McNeil draws heavily from his own persona during the 90s, implying that he likely internalizes some of the critique directed at the character. Jon Hedder's Napoleon Dynamite. Simultaneously, the movie Napoleon Dynamite and its main character tend to evoke strong differences of opinion among movie enthusiasts. While some appreciate the film and Jon Hedder's depiction of an exceedingly awkward high school student, there are those who perceive the character as quite irksome, to the extent that it hampers their ability to complete the movie. Denethor by John Noble. In Peter Jackson's iconic Lord of the Rings trilogy, the character Denethor, portrayed by John Noble, takes on a different shade as a grumpy, cowardly ruler and displays a notable lack of competence. This reinterpretation diverges from J.R.R. Tolkien's initial creation and has evoked mixed reactions from the audience. Devoted book enthusiasts expressed disappointment over the substantial deviations from the source material, while the movie aficionados simply found this iteration of Denethor to be distinctly unappealing. Julia Roberts as Julianne Potter. Back in the splendid year of 1997, a time when Julia Roberts reigned as the nation's beloved sweetheart, a cinematic gem named My Best Friend's Wedding graced the screens and captured hearts. Yet amidst the triumph, a curious paradox emerged. Roberts, in her role as the vibrant Julianne Porter, evoked mixed feelings among the audience. With a fervor that bordered on audacity, she embarked on a mission to dismantle the impending wedding of her confidant Michael O'Neill, harboring a clandestine affection for him. The film's narrative arc would eventually weave redemption into her character's tapestry, but for some, this transformation felt like a whisper amidst the clamor, a sentiment echoed by those who wished for a more substantial shift. Joaquin Phoenix as Commodus. Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of Commodus in the 2000 film Gladiator was remarkably compelling, earning him an Academy Award nomination. However, Phoenix's exceptional ability to embody the unlikable traits of his character was so convincing that a notable portion of the audience couldn't help but audibly express their satisfaction when Russell Crowe's Maximus finally triumphed over Commodus towards the film's conclusion. Louise Fletcher as the Nurse Ratched. Louise Fletcher's depiction of Nurse Mildred Ratched, a resolute and unyielding ex-World War II nurse in the 1997 cinematic adaptation of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, left such a deep impression on viewers that her name became synonymous with medical professionals who displayed unnecessary cruelty. Kirsten Stewart as Bella Swan. Bella Swan is intended to be the central figure in the Twilight Saga, but a significant portion of the audience struggled to connect with her character. Primarily, both the books and the movies depict Bella as self-centered, impulsive, and frequently in need of rescue, which has drawn criticism. Moreover, Kirsten Stewart's on-screen depiction is sometimes the subject of jest due to her perceived nonchalant demeanor and apparent lack of engagement with the story. Malcolm McDowell, Alex DeLarge. Over the past 5 decades, Malcolm McDowell's depiction of the sociopathic Alex DeLarge in the 1971 cinematic interpretation of A Clockwork Orange continues to linger in the minds of numerous viewers. McDowell's portrayal brilliantly blends the character's composed and distant disposition with his disturbingly aggressive and savage eruptions, solidifying Alex as one of the most disconcerting and unsympathetic figures in the realm of cinema. George Clooney as Batman's Bruce Wayne. In general, Batman is often regarded as one of the most cherished figures in the realm of fiction. Nevertheless, the iteration of the character depicted by George Clooney in the 1997 film Batman and Robin is widely criticized by audiences. This negative sentiment encompasses not only devoted comic book enthusiasts, but also those who casually enjoy movies. Clooney's portrayal is commonly seen as lacking an understanding of Batman's complex and tormented nature. It's worth noting that the inclusion of a Bat credit card in the film has become emblematic of the concerns raised. Sean Scott William, Steve Stifler. Certainly, while the American Pie trilogy offers its share of humorous instances with Sean William Scott's portrayal of Steve Stifler, it's hard to ignore the character has come across as consistently irksome and unsympathetic throughout the movies. Despite the occasional moments of growth, Stifler's tendency to swiftly revert back to his discourteous demeanor in subsequent films can be frustratingly repetitive. Rachel McAdams, Regina George. Rachel McAdams delivered a captivating performance as Regina George in the 2004 film Mean Girls, portraying the role of the quintessential high school queen bee who leads the plastics. Her portrayal of this character continues to evoke a unique blend of fascination and disdain from audiences, maintaining its grip on our attention even years later. Chris Tucker as Ruby Rhod. Chris Tucker's portrayal of Ruby Rhod in the 1997 sci-fi film The Fifth Element was ostensibly intended to provide comic relief. However, the execution of the character ended up being considerably more vexing than humorous for a significant portion of the audience. Piper Laurie as Margaret White. Margaret White, portrayed by Piper Laurie in the 1976 film adaptation of Stephen King's novel, brings to life a chilling portrayal of Carrie's mother. Her sadistic fervor and exaggerated piety make her a character that won't be earning any accolades as Mother of the Year. As the story unfolds, Margaret's excessive cruelty and unsettling demeanor are so twisted that viewers find a strange satisfaction in witnessing her eventual downfall during the film's climax. Thomas F. Wilson, Biff Tannen. Thomas F. Wilson's portrayal of Biff Tannen, along with his depiction of Ancestor Buford, both played by Wilson himself, embodies the epitome of malevolent bullies within the Back to the Future trilogy. These characters are marked by their cruelty, malicious intent, and willingness to engage in confrontational wrongdoing. Consequently, the audience derives particular satisfaction from witnessing their inevitable comeuppance, symbolized by their repeated misfortune of ending up flat on their faces in a substantial heap of manure, a recurring scenario across all three films. Wilson naturally embraced his connection with the character, gradually crafting a stand-up comedy act around it. This journey reached its zenith with a song where he humorously implored his fans to refrain from repeatedly requesting him to call their friend a butthead on his answering machine. Zooey Deschanel, Summer. For quite some time, audiences have harbored negative feelings towards Zooey Deschanel's character Summer, whose name graces the title of 500 Days of Summer, owing to her perceived mean and cruel demeanor in the movie. Yet as time has passed, there's been growing movement to reevaluate the film, approaching the narrative from a less gender-biased perspective. Only time will reveal whether this reassessment will alter the collective perception of the character. Imelda Staunton as Dolores Umbridge. Among devoted enthusiasts of the Harry Potter saga, Imelda Staunton's performance of Dolores Umbridge tends to attract more antipathy than even Lord Voldemort and his entire cohort of Death Eaters. This sentiment arises from Umbridge's characteristic pink embellishments, fondness for felines, and her concealed sadistic tendencies veiled by an outwardly composed demeanor. Collectively, these traits contribute to rendering her not only greatly unsympathetic, but also genuinely fear-inducing. And that's all for now. So, which one do you hate the most? Or is there any name that is present in the list of your favorite characters? Whatever it is, do let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell. Because trust me, you don't want to miss out on the exciting content that's just around the corner. This is your host signing off, wishing you all an awesome day. Stay tuned!